My mom looked me straight in the eyes, smiled that soft, guilty smile, and said they could only afford one seat on the cruise. My sister was going, and I was expected to understand. What they didn't know, what no one knew, was that while they were packing swimsuits and sunscreen, I was quietly packing up 8 years of receipts. It was a Saturday morning, the kind that smells like coffee and cinnamon rolls, the special ones my mom only made when she wanted something, or when bad news was coming. Sunlight spilled across the dining table where we sat, my mom, my dad, my younger sister Lydia, and me. Mom announced the 10-day Caribbean cruise like she was auditioning for Broadway. Ocean View Suite, unlimited buffet, spa credits, premium package. I smiled. I really did. After my dad's health scare earlier that year, they deserved a break. "So, when do we leave?" I asked. The room went cold. My dad stared into his coffee. My sister suddenly found the wall fascinating. And that's when I knew. Mom reached for my hand, squeezing it just a little too tight. "Hansley, honey, you know how hard this year has been," she whispered, voice dripping with concern. "Your father needs this. The doctor said stress could cause another collapse." She explained how the suite was only for 3 people, how adding me would break the budget. Then came the praise, the kind meant to shut you up. "You've always been the strong one, the responsible one. We knew you'd understand." Understand. That word had followed me my entire life. Lydia needed the trip to heal, to find herself. Never mind that she cheated on her boyfriend. Never mind that she was already back to partying. History was rewritten. She was the victim, and I was the sacrifice. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. I nodded. "Of course," I said. "You deserve it." What I didn't say was this. I had seen the credit card statement. The cruise wasn't paid for. It was financed. And when the bills came due, like always, they'd come to me. Because for 8 years, I'd been the quiet solution to every problem. At 26, after a layoff, I moved back home. Temporary. 3 months, 6 at most. I got a job within 4 months, a solid one. But I never left. Helping a little became paying groceries, then internet, then electricity, then the furniture. The sofa, $1,200. The TV, $800. Washer and dryer, $1,500. Pots and pans, over $15,000. I paid rent, too, $1,200 a month. And Lydia? She traveled, she partied, she found herself. I was 34. Apparently, I'd found myself years ago, and myself was a doormat. The morning they left, my mom handed me instructions like a checklist. Water the plants, collect the mail, keep the house tidy. "You're such a good daughter," she said. The car disappeared down the street, and something inside me shut off. Not rage, clarity. In my line of work, we call it a catastrophic failure point, when a system runs past capacity for so long that it doesn't break, it switches off. I looked at the fern on the windowsill. I wasn't going to water it. I walked through the house slowly, not as a daughter, as an auditor. Every room was a ledger, every object, evidence. And then I opened the folder. Receipts, bank statements, 8 years of proof. So I did what I do best. I built a spreadsheet. Item, cost, date, total, $15,340. That cruise wasn't the betrayal. It was the moment I finally saw the pattern, and I knew I had to leave. Now. I didn't apartment hunt, too slow. I called a corporate housing provider I used at work. 1-bedroom executive suite, ocean view, available immediately. $2,500. I said yes without blinking. That emergency fund I'd been rebuilding? This was the emergency. 3 days later, a moving truck pulled into my parents' driveway. Every item I bought was marked with a yellow sticker. The sofa, the TV, the dining table, the washer, the dryer. 8 years of quiet sacrifice rolled out of that house. I left behind one thing: my dad's old recliner. I dragged it into the center of the empty living room, centered it perfectly, a throne in an abandoned kingdom. Then I left. When my parents got home, they found the house hollow, and then they tracked me, the family location app. They pounded on my door that night, burst inside, screaming, accusing, calling me jealous, bitter, cruel. I let them talk because they thought I'd snapped. They had no idea I'd planned this. The smear campaign came fast. Calls, messages, relatives judging me. I stayed quiet because the truth had receipts. At the family meeting, they sat in the empty house like a tribunal. I brought a binder and an iCAD. I didn't raise my voice. I showed them the spreadsheet, every item, every receipt, every dollar. $15,743 in property, $119,000 in rent. 8 years. Silence. "You didn't steal from me," I said. "You stole from me." I closed the binder and left it on the floor. Lydia met me days later at a diner. The check came. I paid my share. She stared at the money like it was betrayal. "It's not about $20, I said. "It's about the fact that you expected me to pay." She finally admitted it. She knew, and said nothing. I walked out. The calls stopped. The lies collapsed. And 6 weeks later, I got promoted. A real raise, a real future. For the first time, everything I built was mine. Here's the truth I learned. Being the strong one doesn't mean being the sacrificial one. Understanding doesn't mean enduring abuse. And love that only flows one way isn't love. It's extraction. And I finally shut the system down.